Welcome to Z's and Threes. And if there's one thing that I have learned across the course of the NBA season and doing this show, it is that nothing is better for business than talking the LA Lakers. For better, for worse. And today, plenty to talk about. But we're not going to get into the gossip weeds, keeping it strictly on the court. LA in bad need of a win to stay in the West top four race, and it would come down to the final tenth of a second against the Pacers. Fitting that the game was in Indy. Longest win streak in the East, looking to tie Oklahoma City for the longest in the league. The Celtics going against the Suns team, heating up on their own right. Could the defending champs get it done without Jason Tatum out with an ankle injury? That was the theme, ankle injuries in the Bucks-Nets game. Players out and players returning. 6-game slate with plenty happening Wednesday night in the NBA. If you enjoy the show, please do like and subscribe. Help us get to 100 subs before the end of the regular season. Let's catch you up. Let's set the scene. Indianapolis, Indiana. LA Lakers, the Indiana Pacers. Pacers, 5-game win streak. The Lakers, losers of their last 3. LeBron, he has a tell-all therapy session on the Pat McAfee show, but we don't care about that. What would the team look like on the court? It was a high-scoring affair. The Lakers dropped 40 in the second quarter, 15 of those from Austin Reeves. One thing LeBron did talk about was they will go as Luka, LeBron, and Reeves can take them. Lakers led 68-55. Pacers, though, bounced back in the third. 37-27 frame. It's a 3-point game to start the fourth. 2-point Lakers lead. Tyrese Halliburton swipes Luka Doncic. Goes to the other end. Pacers go ISO against Luka. This is right after a possession that Halliburton had scored a bucket on Luka. That was their intent. The Pacers to put Luka in the pick and roll. They wanted to hunt him defensively. This possession, same result. Driving layup and one. Free throw bounces in. It goes 119-118 Indy. 42.2 left, though, on the clock. Jarris Walker blocks Dorian Finney-Smith on a drive. The Pacers have possession, so a chance to build on their lead. Goes down to the final seconds of the shot clock. Benedict Mathurin settles for a double pump desperation 3 heave. No good. Luka gets the rebound. Chance to win the game. Drives the paint. Puts it up from 14 feet. A floater. It's short. Front iron. LeBron James there. Positioned for the putback. Ball out of his hands at .1 on the clock for the win. Ball game. Lakers. 8th career game-winning buzzer beater, including playoffs for LeBron James. A little bit surprising. Just 8. 13-13 and 7 for LeBron. Game high 34.7 rebounds, 7 assists from Luka, and 24 from Austin Reeves. Well, as LeBron said it, that is their recipe for victory. Halliburton had 16 points, 18 assists, highest in the league on the evening, but just 1 of 9 from 3. Lakers stop their slide. Stephen A. Smith goes to his second Tybo class of the day to get ready. Pacers' 5-game win streak is halted. LA continues their road trip against the red-hot Chicago Bulls, who beat them just 3 games ago in LeBron's return from injury. Okay, you got your Lakers, Phil. Let's talk about the rest of the 6-game slate. 5 to get through, coupled with playoff implications. LA Clippers, New York Knicks. New York on the back-to-back coming off of their win. Clippers first of 4 on the road, trying to jump the Warriors for guaranteed entry to the playoffs. Outside of that 2 through 5 race, probably the most intriguing race left in the entire league is who will get that 6th and final guaranteed playoff spot in the West. 55-54 Knicks at the half, but a 20-5 Clippers run from late in the third into the early fourth built a cushion to 19 points. Clippers outscore the Knicks 72-58 in the second half. They start a pivotal road trip with a 126-113 win. 29-6-6 for James Harden, a double-double, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 7 dimes for Kawhi Leonard. He had 14 of his 27 in the fourth quarter. So, what do you think of the Clippers? Are they a legitimate playoff threat? They have managed to overachieve all season long, and this is not relative to their personnel. They have a good roster, but relative to said personnel's availability. If healthy come playoffs, you have Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell. Can they win a first-round series? If you're a fan of another team in the Western Conference, would you rather play the Clippers or Memphis or Minnesota or the Warriors? Take your pick. Could they advance to the conference finals? That's where they went in 2021. The idea has always been with Kawhi Leonard and his tenure with the Clippers, managing to get him to the playoffs healthy. Do they have that this year? How far could the Clippers possibly go? We know how good Kawhi can be come playoff time. They get a dub tonight. Milwaukee, Denver, two teams that have gotten it done over the last 5 years in the playoffs to win titles. Two MVPs and their ankles concerns in this game. Giannis out because of one. Jokic back in after missing the last 5 with an ankle injury. Nuggets get their full complement as well with Aaron Gordon back into the fold. First game for Milwaukee after the Damian Lillard news broke yesterday, out indefinitely with a blood clot in his calf. Would that be the rest of the year into playoffs? We don't know yet. Get well soon, Dame. Nuggets go up 15, but late in the third, they cede the lead. That's a wild lead swing alert as the Bucks go up 5. 17-4 Denver run puts them back up 8 to start the fourth. Bucks cut it to 3 with 2:03 left on the clock, but Denver closes on a 9-0 run. How about this for Jokic? Returns with a light 39, 10, and 10. He had an insane behind-the-back dish to Gordon for a dunk. Another league-leading triple-double. 23 from Michael Porter Jr. Defending champs, Boston Celtics on the road. Phoenix Suns trying to get back into the conversation in the play-in. Celtics, they have the longest win streak in the East. They have won their last 6. Fourth game of a 6-game road trip, all against Western Conference teams, but only one against a guaranteed team in playoff positioning. I say that 1 through 6. 7 through 10, you're not in unless you play your way in. They'd have to do this one, the Celtics, without Jason Tatum. He had a wicked ankle sprain. Wicked. Yeah, I'm not, no Boston there. Ankle sprain in their last game in Sacramento against the Kings. Suns winners of their last 4. They're up into 10th, final play-in spot. Big reason they are in that position, though, and this is not a positive reason, it is their record against teams 500 and above. It is an abysmal 12-22, and that would not improve tonight. Gets out of hand in the second and third quarters, 31-16 and 35-27 for the Celtics. 30-point win for the defending champs, 132-102. 30 for Kristaps Porzingis, 24 from Jaylen Brown. KD scores 30. Suns play all 15 players on their roster. I've watched a lot of games this year, and when I look into the score sheets, I haven't seen that all season. Emptied the roster completely. That's what happens when you get blown out. Let's go to Lottery Land, Washington, Philadelphia. The only thing you need to know from this one, the play of Alex Sarr, if you're not familiar with the name. French-born big man, 7 feet tall, second overall pick for the Wizards. Maybe a bright spot for the Wizards moving forward. He's closing the season strong. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. He gets a shout out because he was a late ad for my fantasy team in the championship this week. So keep doing it. Wizards, 119-114. Toronto, Brooklyn, final game of the night. And the only thing you need to know about this one, the Raptors won 116-86. Standings update. Let's do the Western Conference first. The Nuggets now a game and a half behind the Rockets. Lakers 2 wins behind the Nuggets, but they're even in the loss column. Teams have split the season series, do not play again. Both teams 2 wins, 2 losses. The Lakers now ahead of the Grizzlies by virtue of their 2-1 head-to-head advantage. The two teams meet in a huge contest Sunday in Memphis. Big week for the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll get to them a little bit later. Clippers 3 behind that 2-5 race, so no real threat of joining the fight unless they were to win out. They do jump the Warriors, though, into the 6. Clippers have already won the season series 3-0. But the regular season finale is between the two. In San Francisco could be a de facto play-in game. Head-to-head record won't matter unless they finish with the same record. So if they were to go into that final day with the same record, it is a de facto play-in game for avoiding the play-in. Phoenix, with their loss, same record as the Dallas Mavs, but the Suns maintain the 10 position. Let's go east. The Bucks' loss drops them into the 6. The Pistons now the 5.5 game ahead. Pacers' loss has them just a game and a half ahead of the Pistons. Bucks and Pistons, interestingly enough, finished the regular season on a back-to-back against one another. There is a scenario if they were to finish in the 4-5, this being the Bucks and the Pistons, that they would begin the playoffs against one another. That would preclude with a Indiana Pacers falling to 6, but hey, it could happen. Heavy Pour, leading score of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. Nikola Jokic pours in 39. Dunk of the night. Kevin Porter Jr. of the Milwaukee Bucks goes two-handed all over one of the better shot blockers in the league, Peyton Watson. Pretty nasty dunk. And the performance of the night, presented by Contract Year. Play in your contract year. Yet another absurd line from Nikola Jokic. Maybe not done in the MVP race quite yet. We will see what the horse racer's closing kick looks like now that he has a good ankle too. A lot going on there. 39, 10, and 10. It was the most points scored, as he was the Heavy Pour leading scorer of the night, and the second most assists of any player, just behind the 18 of Tyrese Halliburton across the 6 games played in the association on Wednesday night. About as light as you can get when it comes to the news today. Kyrie Irving, it was reported he had successful surgery to repair his torn ACL in his left knee. Hope to see you back on the court as soon as possible, Kyrie. House shoes and happy Air Max Day to those of you that celebrate. What did I bust out today? The Nike. Look, the bubble is so big you can almost see my eyes through them. Nike Air DNs. These dropped last year. I had them on ice until then. I woke up my son today from a nap because he was napping in the room that has my shoe closet because I wanted to find these to rock them. And I'm glad I did because it's a super dope shoe. This cream colorway is dope. This is one of the better pieces, I think best piece of innovation that Nike has done over the last 2 years. If Nike wants to get back to the top, do more like this. And that was all said. I wrote house shoes and the title was Gossip Gang, but you know what? I have no interest digging into that. The thumbnail was clickbait. I hope that it brought you here and that you've stayed because you enjoy the show. And being that it's Air Max Day, we're going to just keep it brief and shout out Thabo Sefolosha because this man was bold enough to play NBA games in Air Max 90s. It was wild when he did it, and he did it consistently. So I ask you, what is the wildest pair of shoes that you have ever legitimately hooped in? A competitive game, not just like we went to the rec center and I had the ball, or we stopped by the park and decided to jump in a game, so I played in my Tims. Yeah, that's wild. I've played against some cats in Tims that drive the lane with the Tim facing forward. Early in my playing career, in my illustrious long playing career, I remember I suited up for a game in middle school basketball in a pair of Stan Smiths. I thought they looked clean. Why not take it on the court? We've seen other players take some interesting shoes on the floor. Gilbert Arenas, first and foremost, he is the one that has done some of the more wilder combinations to ball in. We've seen players play in Versace's, in designer shoes, all sorts of different things that have gone on the court. And I'm a sneaker guy. Signature Sneaker Showdown, working on episode 3. Something good for you guys. But let me know in the comments, what's the wildest pair of shoes that you have ever hooped in? What to watch Thursday night, 8 games in the National Basketball Association. The Lakers will be going back-to-back, and very poetic, the team that they will be playing in Chicago to take on the red-hot Chicago Bulls and Kobe White? Will they have an answer? Will MJ be in the house? LeBron James spoke on his relationship with Michael Jordan in his interview with Pat McAfee. Memphis, OKC. Thunder have already won 60 games, and they could get to 70. They have 10 games left. They would have to win out. They've won 7 straight. Could they best the Cavs' 16-game win streak by ending the season on a 17-game heater to be a 70-win team? Memphis needs to stay in the 2-5 fight. That'll be a good game. The rest, lottery land. If you miss any of them, as always, Z's and Threes has got you. All we ask is that you like and subscribe. If you like the show, share with a friend as well. Help us get to the century mark. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.